This is ACOFAE. Laura Marie and Jessica Marie proudly present A Court of Fandoms and Exploration, a podcast. Fair warning, everything the hosts say is explicit, full of spoilers and adult content and shall not be used against them. They have opinions. Let's try not to drag anyone for expressing themselves and just have fun for an hour. We all deserve it.
This episode contains spoilers from Twilight, New Moon, Eclipse, and House of Earth and Blood, with mentions of I Know What You Did Last Summer and What We Do in the Shadows. For full list, please see show notes.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to A Court of Fandoms and Exploration, your weekly deep dive into the fantasy, literature, and fandoms that we love. I'm Laura Marie.
And I'm Jessica Marie.
And today we are discussing Eclipse, the movie based on the book Eclipse by Stephanie Meyer.
Which is part of the Twilight Saga. And if you've been following the podcast, new or longtime listener, we've made this part of our, I want to say annual watch, but it's not like we're annually watch. We're building on the series. This is a first time watch for both of us. We've both read Eclipse, but neither of us had seen it. So we have decided when we've made our trips to visit each other, we make watching Twilight part of the series or saga part of that tradition. And boy, it felt like, and if you followed, you might know one of our episodes from last winter about finding joy and Mystery Science Theater. And that's what it felt like. It felt like we were the two robots watching Mystery Science Theater, giving a commentary over everything. We paused, we rewound, we rewatched scenes, and we just could not. Thank God editor Sam wasn't home, because he'd be like, what are y'all doing?
Well, here's the thing, and I have said this to author Hannah for the Accomplice to the Villain series, our past episode, but this is Charlie's horror story. This is Charlie's horror story. All of Twilight is Charlie's horror story, but I really think it's this one where it really kind of kicks in to him that this is his nightmare that he will never wake up from. And I have my Charlie merch on. It's right here. Charlie Swan. Thank you. Thank you, sir, for your service. You are a good dad. Thank you. Thank you.
The collective sigh you and I had the moment he came on the screen, we were just like, yes, all is right in the world. Charlie is here.
Charlie's here for some fucking reason to calm down all of these hormones. Like, it's incredible that, like, Edward can even have hormones at his big age. Like, but, you know, whatever. It's fine. So much to say, a lot of it hilarious. So let's start.
We open with wannabe Matt Donovan.
Yeah.
Cold open wannabe Matt Donovan.
That was really something. I had to, like, really look and make sure it wasn't him.
I forgot we were watching when we started it. I was like, Matt Donovan? I go, oh, wait, not Matt Donovan.
It's like, no, it can't be. I would know.
And also, Matt Donovan did not survive. Well, this Matt Donovan did not survive the vampire, so we knew it wasn't him.
Yeah, for real. He's bitten and is screaming in the rain very, very quickly. A nice, I Know What You Did Last Summer call out here. What do you want from me?
In the rain.
In the rain, falling down next to the harbor. Like, it's real good. What do you want from me, huh? Right here. Excellent. Thank you, Jennifer Love Hewitt, for your service in that book, or in that movie. It's fantastic. But, the cold open, title card, Eclipse, woo! And then we have a voiceover about fire and ice. Well, okay. All right, I'm going to get it off my chest. Jessica Marie, I already got it off my chest to you. Fire and ice, we're starting off. Obviously, that's Jacob and Edward. And the whole movie is a metaphor about choice and loving your human side, but choosing the, like, vampire side, and that, no one should make your choice for you. Okay, I understand that. But This movie is wild. This movie is absolutely wild. First of all, the treatment of Jacob is atrocious. I'm just going to say that. Jacob deserves better. Justice for Jacob. The imprinting storyline is disgusting, and I understand that the foundation is laid here, and I understand that's the purpose of the movie, but like, oh my God. Oh my God, seeing it is so much worse.
It's so bad. And it's so interesting because it's like, this is the other part where we're like, we read this when we were younger. And I think I even said to you before we started recording, I know I'm an adult because there were a lot of different choices in here where I'm like, no, nobody's frontal lobes are developed. What is happening here? These are not the decisions. The only decision I want, Laura, and I know you want too, is for Charlie. We just want Charlie. More justice for Charlie.
More justice for Charlie. Charlie Swan, I'm sorry you're stuck in this nightmare that your child has dragged you into. Okay. We're in a meadow, though, and we're canoodling. And then we get a proposal ×2, marry me, marry me. And we get hit with a change me. And then we get hit with a change me, marry me, change me, compromise. What? Here's the thing. There's a really wonderful creator on TikTok. We'll put her in the show notes. And she has explained to me and millions of others that Edward hates himself. So everything that he is saying and everything that he does, he actually, in the back of his head, hates himself for making all of these choices. So it's just wild to me that, first of all, we have an English final, Jess. My English final. I can't marry you. I've got to be back at 4. We're in high school. Context. We're in high school. I think that's so important that we right now, you and I, are not in high school, but they are in high school.
All the feelings are big feelings. Whatever we said another, everything is just big and amplified. And it's just, this is end all be all.
All consuming.
Yes.
So in that context, all of this makes sense, right? All of this makes sense. It makes perfect sense. And the one logical thing that Bella says basically in this entire movie is right here in the beginning where it's like, Edward, I cannot marry you at this big age of like 17 or of whatever she is, 8, whatever. Because that means that I'm pregnant. We know what's going to happen. So that foundation is also laid here.
But that's a fair assumption, I think, across the board.
Absolutely.
Like in a lot of places and a lot of communities and a lot of religions. Like if you get married this young, there's the assumption, well, you can't be pregnant and unmarried.
Except when we look at it through the lens of Mormonism, then this makes perfect sense.
Yes.
So we if we suspend
somebody did not teach Edward what soaking was. That's for fucking sure.
Edward, there are ways around this.
It was
use the internet, buddy. How old are we?
Bella, I mean, we had that antiquated Google search back in movie 1. But like you have Bella being like, Edward, you have me like questioning that I'm challenging your virtue.
He's like, stop trying to take your clothes off. Like,
what? You're 17, but you're 17 who hates himself.
Who hates himself times 100, so.
How long have you been 17, Edward?
And then we also get this whole prelude to the conversation with Charlie here in the meadow. Like, marriage is just a piece of paper. Like, marriage doesn't mean anything, Edward. Why are you pushing this? And Edward was like, I'm old fashioned. Like, fucking humor me, bitch. I'm gonna change you. Like, hey, it's just like this wild little conversation that she kind of brushes off. And she's like, okay, take me home now. I have school. Like, okay.
Exactly. You have school.
You have school.
Why are we talking about this?
school. And then we have Charlie. Charlie's there and he's reading the newspaper, and the newspaper tells us that like Riley's missing and like there's things happening in Seattle. Thank you, props for the little news update. But then we have Charlie, and I was looking around earlier for a crown and I don't have it because Charlie dropped it and I need to give it back to him. King Charlie here saying, hey Bella, like, do you know why you're grounded? You know why all of this punishment is happening, correct? Correct? Okay, here I have other concerns that I'm going to present to you. I want you to have a little bit of space from your super intense boyfriend. And I think, as your dad, that's totally fucking reasonable. Okay? All right, fine. Now, if I take you off punishment, do you promise to hang out with your other friends like Jacob?
I will take you off punishment if Jacob is involved.
Go, Jacob. Team Jacob. It's very funny that Charlie's Team Jacob.
Honestly, if Charlie, the actor who does Charlie, ever did cons, the money he would rack in, and I just want him, I would ask him to wear a Team Jacob shirt for my photo op.
Absolutely. 100%. My God, how much money he would make. How much money you would make. Oh my gosh. But then, Charlie hits her with the line of, he's going through a lot right now, Bella, and he needs a friend. And I remember when you needed a friend, he was there for you.
Not only was he there for you, when were you going through a lot of shit? Because of the person you've attached yourself to right now.
And okay, here's one of my favorite fucking things. And what does Bella do? We have this like monologue or this like voiceover of her like trying to call him and he's not answering. She's like, I just wanted to fix it. She goes into her fucking drawer and takes out his like love letter. Why do you have that, Bella? Why do you have that? This love letter from another man that you're hiding from your boyfriend in your drawer? What are we doing? And you're reading it and you're smiling and you're folding it back and you're putting it back, but you're not in love with him. I understand the metaphor for her human life. I get it. But damn, it's also Jacob. It's also a 17-year-old boy.
Okay, but even if you take, and I know this goes with like media literacy, right? But even if we take the media literacy and the metaphor out, at face value, that's still kind of fucked.
Yeah. You know what?
I shouldn't say fucked because it is reasonable to be in love with more than one person. She's 17.
Absolutely.
She's choices. And all we're saying is, I want two boyfriends and I want the boyfriends to be boyfriends. And it's not far off for when Jacob calls her out on it later. It's okay. It is realistic to love both of us. Catherine Pierce said it. It's okay to love them both. I know I did. But yes. Everybody's in denial. And part of that is probably because I know we've had this conversation of Mormonism that you can't be, it's choices. It's one or the other. There's no gray area.
Yes, there's no gray area. Edward needs marriage to be intimate. Bella needs to change to be intimate with Edward. Everybody needs different things. Jacob doesn't need shit. Jacob
He wants Bella. He doesn't need Bella.
Yeah. Jacob just wants Bella to admit that she loves both of them, as you said. And Bella cannot. She cannot. But Jess, what fucking happens right after this? Bella runs down to her car and her car won't start.
Cause here's the thing. She was like, okay, I'm off punishment. There are some rules to be off punishment. I'll go see Jacob. My dad made a point. King Charlie made a point. She goes downstairs and Alice with her visions tells Edward, oh, by the way, your girlfriend's heading over to the reservation.
Is that a good friend? By the way?
No, she doesn't. Here's the thing. Alice doesn't, and I think we said this in movie too, that she's not looking out for Alice. She's looking out for her family. Which, fair, I get it. Like, that's your brother. I'm not negating. That's sometimes how different family dynamics work. But don't position this like you're my friend. No, you're your brother's sister. Yeah. So, but she goes down to her car, and the car's not working. The car's broken. Who broke it? But your toxic fucking. But this is how I know we're adults, because if when we were kids and we were reading this, we would have probably eaten it. Oh my god, it's so romantic. He's so protective. If this shit happened now and watching it now as an adult, that is a toxic boyfriend.
Yes, it's horrendous.
Controlling,
scaring her.
Yes. And if you want to talk about like, oh, you respect her father, age and all, you're going against his wishes and you're trying to get on his good side?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Also, I think just from the movie context that that Bella is the one that says Alice. I think it's more realistic in my headcanon that Edward's just creeping under her window, just fucking watching her.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, that's what I think based on the movie.
Well, he was watching her sleep for so long. Now all of a sudden he's not. He was only watching her when he couldn't have her.
Yeah, and he was like right there. Like, how long has he been there? Like what? Like,
stalker.
Yeah, it's just fucking creepy, and also racist, because he says the wolves just can't control themselves. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. We see what this really is now. All right. That's not cool, Edward. Go back to your little Confederacy friend.
Jasper. All of it. And like you said, metaphors, right? Because if it was point blank and written out for you, people would have a hard time digesting that.
Yeah. Don't love that. Oh, okay. So, Jess, maybe you can help me. When did we settle on this like arbitrary graduation, like after graduation turning date? Was that like in between movies that we kind of established that?
I feel like it was maybe one of those details that were in the book, so they acknowledge it in the movie, but it's more lined out. And I can't remember Bella's birthday. I thought Bella's birthday was in the fall.
September.
I don't know. Yeah, so technically she hasn't turned 18 yet. So you would think after graduation, you part ways with everybody. If you're going to go to like school, September she would turn 18, and that would be after graduation. But I think it was just like graduation was that's a wrap. You won't see most of these people again anyway, so they won't be able, or like if you did see them again, they're like, oh my gosh, it's been so long, you look so different. And it's dismissed. I think that was part of it.
The date is set for, I think, August 13th. I have it written down when she says it at the end. And then Bella will turn. Okay, fine. Alice wants to have a party at the Cullens. That's totally fine. How many times are we going to graduate? Jasper says at the lunch table.
They're terrible vampires. That is what, I know we discussed it earlier before we started recording, but that has become my final decision on this set of vampires in our vampire journey as we keep exposing ourselves.
Yeah, they're bad ones. Honestly, why high school? Why high school over and over again?
I'm thinking about their whooshing, and then you're like, why couldn't they whoosh like that to Phoenix? You wouldn't have gotten there in 24 hours.
Doesn't make sense. I like logistics, especially with places I've been to before. Okay, we have mention of the Volturi, and honestly, Jane is my girl. She's my favorite part of all of this. All right, because there are killings that are happening, and Charlie is working the case with the missing blonde boy, which is Riley. All of that is happening. However, we did skip over Anna Kendrick and her epic. It's going to change lives.
I was like, wait, that's not on my timeline marker. We need it. Anna Kendrick is just like so wrapped up in her valedictorian speech, and Bella goes, it's okay. She doesn't need cliches. Whatever Jessica says is going to be epic. And Anna Kendrick goes, epic? It'll change lives. It gets funnier when you watch it because you can take it as seriously or unseriously or catty or mean, however you want. Just keep watching it.
The delivery is epic. That is what's
epic.
That is what is epic. Really, really fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff. Her speech, though, later on is pretty good. I will say that. I will say that. Edward is pulling a lot of bullshit. I have to say Edward's pulling a lot of bullshit right in front of Charlie. Edward's like, "Hey, Bella, are you going to use that plane ticket we got you? You can use that? Why don't you go see your mom, Bella?" And Charlie's like, "What?
Also, like, how did you have a family buy you a ticket and not tell me?
Yeah,
you're a minor.
Yeah.
Why didn't you tell me? I can understand. What are you doing?
Unaccompanied.
Yeah, an unaccompanied minor. But then this bullshit, I noted it the second time. Bella has lied so much to poor King Charlie. And she goes ahead and she's like, "Yeah, you're right. Maybe I'll go see my mom this weekend. As long as you use the companion ticket." Bitch, you better be joking. Because what do you mean? You've lied about leaving the country. You lied about leaving the state. You've gone to different time zones. You've lied left and right to Charlie. You couldn't lie to him about after he just told you on the couch, "Hey, maybe have some distance. Maybe just like take a breather." And he even says that. He reiterates it before she talks about the companion. He was like, "You know what? Actually, some distance might be good for you this weekend." Like, he's like really driving home the point to like, "Hey, remember what we talked about, right?" Everything she's lied to him about, she couldn't. And even if there was a companion ticket, I don't have to bring it up in front of my dad, who just told me basically I shouldn't be hanging out with you so much.
He would never have had to know.
He wouldn't even have known. All Edward could have been like, "I'll drive her to the airport. I'll pick her up, sir." And gone the whole time. He wouldn't have known.
No. Ever.
Just lie better. ACOFAE podcast.
Lie Better, ACOFAE podcast, Bella. But we go to Florida and we have a t-shirt blanket, unofficial sponsor. I've got 1,000 of those blankets.
So many. I didn't know. I was like, "Did you know?" And you're like, "I've never seen this before."
I've never seen this before. I didn't know that they had it. It's a Project Repat. Sign up for their email. This is not sponsored. Sign up for their email and they will bombard you with a lot of percentage off of their blankets, which if you hold out and you wait, you might get a 40% off offer, and that fucking rocks.
So if you want your very own Twilight blanket, make your own.
And also, as Jessica Marie will attest, the cutting of the blanket is very soothing.
It's soothing, but be prepared if you have a lot of shirts, because it hurt my hand. Had to take a break. Yeah.
Yep. It's very soothing. You get into a rhythm, it's very great. It's very great. But we are presented with the t-shirt blanket here in Florida, by Bella's mom to her. And Bella's mom hits her with when you have kids and grow old, you can put more blankets to it and we can celebrate, and it'll keep you warm while you're in fucking Alaska. Here's the other thing.
Did that come from the book? I can't remember, this University of Alaska storyline or something.
I also cannot remember the University of Alaska storyline, but I also do not understand Bella's insistence on cutting off her whole fucking family.
I don't get it. But like also how casual they were about it too, because what was it? Edward was saying like, "Oh, this is going to be your last time to see your mom."
Why?
Why? And Charlie, and why does everybody think that she's just not speaking to, especially because they're not dead. They all have cell phones. Yeah. And if we're going with the premise that she's still alive, she's still, I don't want to say breathing, but she's still walking the earth, and she's a vampire. So you're enrolled in high school.
Yeah, it's weird. It's fucking weird. Not as weird as all of the Cullens in the woods in like battle mode, waiting for Victoria to come running through the woods. Bryce Dallas Howard, everybody. Yeah, look at her recast. But it's just silly. It just looks silly, but at least we have the like filter on everything. We're whooshing, territory challenges. Victoria's stirring everybody up, making the wolves and the vampires fight. That's fine, because the next day at school we get Jacob in the rain.
Oh, I put Jacob.
Yep. Jacob in the rain. One of my favorite scenes, just is right here because it gets very tense. Because, Jacob doesn't go to that school and Jacob's there and it's raining a little bit and he's wet and he looks really good and he comes over to Edward and Bella and he starts talking and he's like, I'm warning you, you can't come over to our territory. We're going to have problems. And Bella's like, what? And Jacob's like, haha. I see. You didn't tell her.
Tell me what? He's like, I got one of my favorite part, because Bella gets full. Oh, you were lying to me. You were lying. You don't get to tell me shit. Actually, now because you lied and withheld information, I'm gonna fuck all the way off and go with Jacob and wrap my arms around his hot wear body and ride off into the sunset on his motorcycle. Fuck school. And I'm gonna go fuck Jacob. At least that's what I want her to do, but she doesn't.
She doesn't. She does say the craziest thing though, because it's very tense. Like Edward is like, meh, and Jacob is like, meh. And Bella is like, yeah, you know what? Fuck you, Edward. Why didn't you tell me? And then she turns to Jacob and she's like, but why didn't you call me? Like, she's so pissed off about it.
She's so, like, you know what? I have such problems with Bella. I feel bad for Jacob. There's one instance, and you know this, and we'll get to it, where I'm like, hey, Jacob, that is not the Jacob I am rooting for. But like, she knows how he feels. And if he needs his distance to emotionally get over you after you were leading him on the previous movie and book, give the guy a break. You know he's in love with you.
Especially because his answer to why haven't you called was, I had nothing to say. And she goes, well, I have tons to say. Whoa, Bella. Whoa. Okay. But like, he just told you again.
Say it in a letter, just like the love letter that you're holding on so dearly for him for.
In like your underwear drawer or whatever. Like, God. But yeah, Jess, you're absolutely right. And then Jacob takes her to the pack, who immediately embrace her. Immediately. No questions.
No questions. Knowing how, because they all have like telepathy when they're in their wolf form, which is also really fair that you have where Jacob is just like, he's in love with her. His emotions are mixed and they're ribbing him a little bit because that's like a brother figure for them. And they're like, do I call Bella? Do I not call Bella? Maybe I should call her and hang up. Like all the petty things you think of when you're like going through something and are hurt. Right. And I think it's fair. And she's just like awkwardly being like, ha ha ha. And Jacob's like, can y'all not? But no matter what, they embraced her immediately, and they did last time in like the previous movie and book, and they're doing it again because she's important to Jacob, and that's what matters. And if anything, they're really just upset that he's hurting over this person. But if he's okay with her right now and feels comfortable enough to bring her to the reservation, then they're like, okay, well, if he's giving the go ahead, we will too. But either way, we also appreciate you as a person. Again, metaphor of like, we accept you as you are and wholly no matter what, and that's why you're welcomed here.
Hey Jess, what's imprinting?
Oh my gosh, it takes over you, it controls you, and that's why Sam is having such a difficult time, because he imprinted on his current girlfriend, but the other girlfriend, the ex-girlfriend, is like, hello, I'm still hurt. But we know that Jacob, sadly, spoilers, if, 20 years later from whenever this movie came out, that he's imprinting on her womb, on her ovaries, on her eggs. He's just in love with her. That's where this storyline's going. But we're getting the groundwork and foundation of imprinting for book 4 for Breaking Dawn.
And he says, I would do anything, become anything for her, my anchor. All right, cool. And then to totally and utterly destroy the mood, Bella goes, well, you've got until graduation because that's my change date. And Jacob kind of loses it. He's like, what? I thought I had more time. I thought I had more time to ... he's really got his hooks into you. It makes me sick. Bella, they're not even alive. Metaphors, right? Or, all these metaphors. But then it's just like a cut scene. And then it's like, meanwhile, somebody is in Bella's room touching all of her shit.
Yeah, want to be Matt Donovan.
Yeah, he's just like, ooh, touching all of the shit. But then we go home and Charlie's there. Edward's there too.
Well, the other thing is the guy touching her shit was lurking over Charlie. Charlie, your cop senses aren't tingling.
Charlie's sleepy. Charlie's allowed to have a nap. But we learn here that Edward's like, sniff, there's a stranger.
Oh, but I just remembered. So Charlie King that he is, he's always up waiting for Bella to get home when she's with Edward. But while this sniffing is happening, Bella's with Jacob on the reservation. So he has a sense of calm. Okay. Oh, we love it, Charlie. Charlie's so hardcore Team Jacob. But she comes back. And of course, like, Edward's there and smelling things and somebody is here. But he's always, it's stalkery. It's honestly stalkery. And you know what? Maybe I know there are people who read dark romances and stalker. I know that is a genre. That is not for me. That's just too close to like, it's a horror. It's a horror.
It is. It is a horror. It is a horror. You know, what is also kind of a horror? Kind of, just because they don't get along, is this joint custody that ends up happening between Jacob and Edward.
I put shirtless custody exchange in my notes.
Yeah, mine says shirtless handoff. And that's what, it's just back and forth of like, we must protect Bella from Victoria and from no, we don't have the threat of the newborn army yet. That they haven't put that together. It's just, I don't know. There's a lot, but then nothing happens in this book. So
it's a lot of like, let me show you my jealousy. Let me show let me show the exchange. Bella is, the metaphor. She's like, she can't choose. She's like between two worlds. And where does her heart lead her? And there's things that she wants to do and needs to do, or she thinks she needs to do. And here's the thing with the whole changing. And I know that we talked about this earlier too. We are so set, and maybe this is like compromise, I use in air quotes, but ultimately through all of this, the vampires have the power. The vampires are the ones, she could say she wants to change all she wants. She can't change without a vampire. So these dates are just kind of like there, and who's to say you can't change them? I think we were talking also about What We Do in the Shadows, and Guillermo was working for the vampires for years, 10 plus years, and he had a workday anniversary. He thinks he's always wanted to be changed. He really loves the vampires. He really loves the community and culture. He thinks this is going to happen. Still doesn't happen. So it's like that could have been it. Or you could have waited till you're older. I understand, we've read the books, we understand the movies, we understand how the change happens. But in this context, that where we are in this timeline, Earth and Blood spoiler, Bryce and Danica were like, we're not going to make the drop until we think we're hot. Our boobs are at their perkiest. We have the best fucking metabolism, and our frontal lobes are developed.
Completely developed. It's so important. Here's another thing, though. Fully accepting Bella, the wolf pack. How about she's the first white person to hear these histories at this council meeting that Jacob brings her to? Oh my God. Are you kidding me? And then she just turns around and takes an enormous dump on all of it.
She's not being the best version of herself. She's very selfish.
Yes. She is very selfish. Again, she just wants to fuck her boyfriend. And I do think that if they had just been allowed to fuck and it be bad.
Clink, clink.
It was not even like if they were allowed to fuck now and she's human and he's a vampire and it was just bad. Because Edward, come on. So
it's like you want to do it so bad? Fine. Here's prove a fucking point.
Fine. Yeah, fine. And then it's bad. I think it should be like, okay, you know what?
Actually, I don't want a popsicle in my vagina.
Yeah.
Let me just head over to the reservation.
Yeah, you know,
Get my kicks
dates aren't
over there.
real. Time's not real. Dates aren't real. We don't have to, you know.
Actually, there's no rush. Love you, babe. No rush.
No rush. No rush. I think that would have saved a lot of it.
There has to be a fanfic about the. I'm sure. I mean, we learned from Allie Hazelwood. There's all the Ballas for Bella and Alice fanfic. I'm sure. I know that Jacob Gurley's put in the work.
I'm sure it has to. It has to. The history's pretty fantastic. I don't love that we had to kill a woman as a distraction. Do love that they credit her for all of it.
That was the first thing we said when we watched it. We were like, oh, this is amazing, because they didn't say the man saved the tribe. It was because of her and her distraction and her quick thinking.
Yep. All of this to say that like something bad is coming. It's coming. Something bad is coming. And that is the Seattle baby vampire army that is being created. You know, okay, cool. The Volturi are there. They're watching it. They're monitoring the situation, and they are letting it go because fuck the Cullens. That's kind of like the vibe. So, you know, let's see if they can survive this. We will monitor. And my girl Jane is there. We love that. Here's something for all the girls with daddy issues. Bella is casually just like, oh my God, it's so sad these parents are still looking for their missing child. Don't you think they should give up? And Charlie is like, what? What? I would never give up on you. Okay, you know what? I need to make a crown and give it to him.
I think a request we should put out there is for any of the listeners, if they know of Charlie fanfic, I think they need to DM it to you, because that is ultimately what you need, like a YN, like a Your Name Charlie fanfic.
He's just such a good dad.
He's
and Bella,
so good. He's like the best of all of these guys in this series.
Like, it's just crazy. You know, and then we have this, like Bella and Edward, they're talking, and Edward's hitting her with the, like, you know, in a couple of decades, all your family will be dead, and it won't fucking matter that you won't see them anymore. Whoa! Like, I understand what you're doing, but also, whoa!
Yeah, he's definitely, I know that he just wants her to be like, did you think about this? Did you think about this? And even later on, because we know Edward hates himself, but I don't know if this conversation is happening also, but who also hates what's going on is Rosalie. Rosalie is not here for because her choice, once again, was taken away. And I don't know if this discussion has had, I'm basing it off of like watching this movie, and it's been years and years, like over 10 years since I've read and reread the books. Why Carlisle plays God a lot in creating his found family. He literally finds them and creates them to be his family. But why? Like, we don't know why. We know everybody was like dying. We know Rosalie's like tragic, awful backstory of how it happened. Love the theatrics for her, but the choice was taken away. Why does Carlisle get to pick and choose who is saved? Because in a tent of Spanish influenza soldiers, Edward wasn't the only one dying either.
Yeah, it's really crazy when you sit down and look at it. But again, the masterpiece is in the messiness, I guess. So that's kind of why this endures, because you can sit and like kind of pick at it and be like, what? Something that I want to pick at is this Bella Jacob confrontation. And this is where Jacob, king of communication, says, look, I thought I had more time to do this. I thought I could be smoother with it. This is what I got. I am in love with you. I want you to choose me. I don't believe that you don't have feelings for me. I will fight for you until your heart stops. You wouldn't have to change for me or say goodbye to anyone. Mic drop. That's good shit.
Because he's like, and I will still be waiting around for you until like your heart stops. But he's like, I'm here. I'm ready when you are. If and when he fucks up again.
And then he fucks up immediately after.
Well, so like Jacob does. Jacob fucks up with our non-consensual kiss. Bella punches him, but now he's all wear and it hurts her hand. And again, because of Edward and his fucking tracking, Jacob pulls up to the house. Edward is right behind. As a parent, I am currently not a parent, but I think of it in like the context of my niece. If my niece came home with whoever and her boyfriend or girlfriend or whoever she's dating speeds up immediately when she got home, slamming the car, I would, as a parent, as an aunt, I would lose my shit. Who are you tailing my niece? Just because she's hanging out. And I know, like, it was non-consensual. I get that. But I would already have a problem with this toxic person coming up, stalking. How did you know she was home already? I don't know what's going on. I'm a cop, but this would be like, do you have an air tag on her? What is happening?
And Jacob, again, king of communication, admits it to Charlie's fucking face.
Oh, the accountability. He has ownership and accountability, which is nothing that Edward has had yet.
Yeah, he doesn't even, like he's apologizing to Bella, obviously, but he's staring straight at Charlie. And he's like, I kissed Bella and she punched me in the face and she broke her hand.
The range of emotions that King Charlie had. He was like, I kissed Bella. And he was like, yes, Team Jacob. And then he was like, and it was unwarranted and she punched me. And he's like, yes, my daughter. That is my daughter. I taught her well. And he was like, it was a miscommunication. And he's like, yeah, sure it was.
Sure it was,
buddy. My ships.
Okay. It's so good. And also there was no hesitation. He didn't just like sit there and be like, no. He was just like, yes, this is what happened, Charlie. Respect. I have nothing but respect for Jacob, especially in that moment. Even though he did a bad thing.
I wonder if Taylor, I don't know the timeline, but if Taylor watched Eclipse and then she was like, yeah, I like him. Granted, I know that they dated during like the Valentine's Day movie, but if that wasn't the timeline, I would have been like, you know what? Yeah, I want to date him too.
We like that.
We love Taylor.
Weirdly, again, just so fucking weird. Edward takes Bella all the way to his fucking house to Carlisle to look at it. That has to be further than the nearest fucking hospital. What is this? We care about her safety, but not her pain. Is that it?
But how about the fact that Carlisle can whoosh? You're a fucking vampire and it's night. Why didn't you say, hey, Dad, your future daughter-in-law broke her fucking hand. Can you get here? Whoosh. Whoosh.
Just, it's nuts. Yeah, it's nuts. And then we have the banter about I could take you, baby vamps. And we have Rosalie's story, which we have already touched on. I was a bit theatrical back then. We love that for her. But then we learned that baby vamps are out of control. They're very volatile. They're very strong. It's when, vampires in general are their strongest. And Riley, little Matt Donovan, is having a hard time corralling his army. And he's trying to be like, you have to stay together, stay strong. And the Volturi are like, they can keep going on. It's fine. But then we're at graduation. We're suddenly at graduation.
I don't know the timeline in this movie. We know graduation, but you know how usually we have timestamps? I just don't feel like we had them in this. Maybe, again, this is just us discussing the movie. It might be in the books.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's just very strange. Because, we cut from the Volturi watching all of this stuff to Anna Kendrick giving her speech about, again, every single person that Bella cares about in this movie is telling her that her being a vampire is the wrong choice. Because even Anna Kendrick's speech here is now is not the time to make life-changing, life-altering decisions. Now we need to make mistakes and grow so that later on we are confident and we know right from wrong, basically. And Charlie is just Preach it. Preach it.
And even using like careers as examples, because that's something that's so pushed upon us, especially during our graduation years, of how that changes during developmental years.
It's a good speech. You know what's not good is Bella's outfit at this fucking party. Everybody's in their little bubble dresses, Bella. Everybody's in bubble dresses. Why are you in
But she's different. She's not like
other girls. She's in a blue long sleeve button-up collared shirt and black pants. Ooh.
Nothing. Maybe that's what's pushing Edward away. He's like, oh, you would have done so much better in a muumuu. Let me tell you. Oh my gosh, it's the 1900s. I bet you he would love a muumuu.
No, he wants that ankle-length khaki skirt. That's what he wants. He wants that badly. Jacob shows up and he's like, hey, I'm here. Hi, you invited me.
Yeah. Also, here's some jewelry I made you.
By hand.
By hand.
Mm-hmm. By hand. Here's jewelry that I made you by hand. This little wolf bracelet. And she looks at it. She's like, gee, thanks. Pretty awesome. And he apologizes here again to her face. He apologizes. You know, it's fine. But then Alice has a vision. And then our vision is that in 4 days, a newborn army's coming. They're after Bella. And Jacob is like, they're after Bella? Oh my God, the wolves are in. And Jasper, who suddenly has a backstory that we should care about, is going to train all of us how to kill a newborn army. Okay.
He's familiar with baby vamps, this, that, the other thing. Also,
aren't you, Carlisle? Aren't you very familiar with newborn vamps? You have your own little fucking newborn army that you've cultivated. Are we just
Carlisle is not it. Let me tell you. Maybe like when we first watched it, we were like, okay, Carlisle and Charlie. And now we were like, no, Carlisle. It's because he's blonde.
It's because he's blonde. Every decision Carlisle makes, it's just like, really, buddy? Are you just letting...
You have been around for hundreds of years, and this is the best that you got? The racist Confederate soldier?
The racist guy, are you just letting him have his time to shine? All right, whatever. His backstory, and he was bitten. He had no choice either by Maria, and he was in charge of a newborn vamp army that was killed and retrained every year. And he thought that he was in love when he did all of this, but it turns out that his wasn't. And that is exactly what's happening with Riley and Victoria. So we see the parallels there.
I mean, and I was like, they're not in love. This is when the sire bond kicks in, honestly.
Yeah. And then Bella has a nightmare and she realizes that the vampire army is being controlled by Victoria. And Edward goes, Bella, you dumb bitch. If that were true, Alice would have seen it. So I'm not going to listen to anything that you say because no, actually.
I will say about the vampire army when they were like, they've changed course 4 days. I did look it up, and there are 2 ways to get from Seattle to Forks. One is a 25-hour walk because there was a ferry involved, and the other is 58-hour walk. And I think they worked out the logistics because they can only travel at night. So I think they probably did the 58-hour walk.
Well, they were walking in the bottom of a lake. So that did happen.
That did. Well, there is no lake on this walking path. So our logistics are back to shit again.
There we go.
So they were like, you remember in ACOFAE? I'm just imagining the mess.
So it's fun. It's
so fun.
It's fun. It's fun. All right. So everybody has decided, I say everybody, Edward has decided that Bella has to go into hiding during this confrontation, and that Edward will stay away, and Jacob will help. He will carry me up the mountain so that they mask my smell, and then I'll just hang out with you here, Edward, while everybody fights this battle for me.
Why? This is the part where I'm lost again. Why is Edward not fighting in the battle? I completely blanked out. I know they say it. Like, it's not implied.
Because he will be distracted and worried about her safety the whole time, and they're better when they're together.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So they agree to let Bella go up the mountain with Jacob, and Edward just whooshes up there, and they all meet at the tent. I originally wrote cabin, but then I looked at it. I was like, it's just a shit ass tent. Are they all stupid? Are they all the most stupid people that have ever existed? Because how many of you said that a storm was coming? They're like, a storm is coming, a storm is coming, a storm is coming, a storm is coming. This tent will protect you.
The tent. What? Like, and not just like a heavy duty camping tent, no, like when y'all go like hiking. A shitty one. Like, this is the one that you can draw, like when you learn fine motor skills and you can draw a tent on a piece of paper. That's it. Yeah. It's silly. It's silly. Okay. So while they're like practicing this, right? They're practicing this. Jacob says, like, you can love more than one person. The imprinting taught me that. And, I know that I make you nervous and I won't kiss you again until you ask me. And like, I let Sam be alpha, and there's going to be consequences to that decision. And she is just like, okay, Chief Jacob, you are going to your boyfriend. Like, what are you doing? While wearing the jewelry that he gave her. Yes. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. So that was all practice. Alice, so that was like day 2? And then this is like night 3 where Alice is like, hey, we're all going to go hunt. You can go fuck my brother now. The house will be totally empty. It's totally fine. Charlie is going fishing. And Bella's like, Charlie, are y'all like... Honestly... If it was like book talk or something, it would very much be a whole very different story to be like, are you fucking my dad? Yeah, are you fucking my dad? Because I'll tell you what, if it were me, I'd probably be fucking your dad. Yeah, I would absolutely be trying. For real. Oh my God. This is where we have the dad, why didn't you remarry? Do you still believe in the institution of marriage? Do you think it has value? And this is where the dad, I'm a virgin. And this is... I think like the confirmation that Charlie has of his life is actually a horror story, because he's like, you can see it. He's like, why the fuck are you asking me about the validity of marriage now? Why? But this goes back to the beginning of the movie, where she's talking about, like, if we get married now, like, there are certain things that are implied because we're in high school. And that's why he starts having the conversation about, like, do you use protection? Are y'all being safe? And she's like, Dad, I'm a virgin. And he's like, okay, now I like Edward. Maybe. Not even I like him. I like him a little bit more. Yeah, a little bit. Not a lot. Edward, though, secure king that he is, has to be, I say that sarcastically, has to be represented on her charm bracelet that Jacob made by hand. And he gives her a little, I'm going to say it's crystal heart, whatever. Sure. There's a bed. Why is there a bed? So you can sleep, you dumb fuck. All right. Anyway, we have more marriage talk, and Bella is like, all right, fine. I'll marry you, but you have to try to fuck me first. And she tries so hard to get this porcelain doll to fuck her. And he won't. He throws out the line of like, stop trying to take your clothes off. Like, I'm going to protect your soul. Like, I want to. Believe me, I do. But marriage first. And Bella is just like, fuck me, bro. Right now. I want you while I'm still me and while I still feel this way. Whoa, what is that? Let's unpack that. I think if that was how she was, like, her angle, it's a fair angle. Mm-hmm. I agree. I think you, like, if you're going to be with me, you need to be with every version of me. Yeah. And she's like, I won't smell the same. I'll be cold. Like, I'll be dead. I'll be dead. Like, I want you now. And Edward is like, I will murder you Honestly, but on the other side of things, I almost think that he would murder her when she's dead because, I mean, obviously that's not what happens, but like, vamps can't lube. Do they have lube? These are questions. Scientifically, it would probably hurt a lot. And there's a lot of clinking and scraping with porcelain. And porcelain breaks.
Scientifically, this is the ugliest fucking ring I've ever seen in my goddamn life.
Ew, I'm so embarrassed.
It's so embarrassing. It's like it's a flat egg. I understand it was his mother's. I understand times were different. I understand that he feels like he's ancient, but he's not that old. Like, let's be so fucking real. How old is Klaus? And how old are you? Shut the fuck up.
Klaus has taste.
Yeah,
Klaus
shut
has
the fuck
taste.
up. Klaus has taste. So you present with the ugliest ring in the world. Okay, that's great. Cutscene. Victoria.
If I had to wear that for the rest of my life, I'd be embarrassed. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm going to be that bitch. But I'm not to say, the sentiment. Oh my gosh. I understand the sentiment of that. It's such a giant ass ring. I probably shouldn't wear this to school. It's not practical. Let me at least have that on a necklace. And then you could give me like a mock one.
Yes. Or maybe just let's remake it because it's ugly as fuck.
Yeah.
Ugly as fuck. All right. Cutscene, the army's coming, but Victoria, maybe not, because she's manipulating Riley. Bella is marking the trees with blood, and she's not wearing her ring because she's embarrassed, and she doesn't want Jacob to see. Let's be so fucking real. That's what that is. That's what that is. That's what that is. The army comes, he's walking under the lake. Everybody's up in the tent. Everybody's up in the tent. And what happens? The storm fucking comes.
The storm that they were told about.
So many times. So many times. And they had opportunity to go down and come back up with more supplies. And everyone was just like, it's fine.
I was going to ask about that because I'm like, again, I think of Edward and his whooshing, your vampire whooshing. Why don't we have more layers? Why are we not prepared better? I'm pretty sure that, again, whoosh, you can vampire whoosh to the closest Dick's Sporting Goods and get you some layers. You might not need them because you are a porcelain popsicle, but your girlfriend's still human.
Yep. So what happens? Jacob comes in. I can't sleep with all this teeth chattering because Jacob's on guard, right? We like that. He's shirtless because he runs hot. Okay, cool. Edward almost lets her die out of like pride. Here.
Yeah.
Like, he's very, very close to being like, no, fuck you. I'm going to watch her die. Fuck you. He's so close.
And his pride is bigger than his love for Bella. Mm-hmm. And he eventually lets her in. But he got to that point for Jacob to step up and be like, you're going to let her die? That's how much. And it was Jacob putting his shit aside because he cared about Bella more.
Yep.
Dare I say?
What?
I feel like we're going to have a lot of people who are mad at us. Par for the course.
Yeah, that's all right.
That tracks.
But then, you know what? This is a trope. The girl is sleeping. The two guys that are in love with her have like a jilted, stilted conversation like above her while she's sleeping. Fun stuff.
She couldn't even fake it. Couldn't even fake being asleep. That is a conversation I'm waking up and listening to.
Because it's good. It's good. Because Jacob says, like, she's in love with you, but she's in love with me too. And Edward is like, yeah, actually, I know this. I am aware.
Yeah. That's why you're ego. That's why you're ego and jealous and you're worried because you know there's an actual chance that she could leave you.
Yep. And Jacob hits him again with like, you gave her up for your protection? You were a fucking pussy. And if you just would have stayed away a little bit longer.
You know. That's my thing. Because Alice doesn't help that situation. Flashback to book 2 New Moon. He was like, oh, she's fine without me. She killed herself. I'm going to just like show everybody vampires are real with my sparkly skin in the Vatican City. And it's just so, he could have stayed away. and they would have been fine. And this goes back to Alice isn't Bella's friend. Alice is Edward's sister.
Yep. Edward even says, like, you are the better choice, Jacob. You're the better choice for her. But I'm not going to force her into making a choice one way or the other. We would probably be friends in different circumstances.
But he does force her with all of his actions and his toxicity.
Yep. Toxicity. It's okay, Mrs. Cullen. As Jacob is walking up behind them. I'm sorry, you fuck ass. You
knew it. You and your vampire senses, you wanted him to hear because you were upset that Bella wasn't ready to tell people.
Yep. It's unbelievable. You knew he deserves to know, Bella. And what does Bella do? The most rational thing in the world. She leaves her fiance. She's looking at him in the face. She immediately turns around and chases after Jacob. She chases after him, screaming.
Chases. At the edge of a cliff.
Yes.
At the edge of a cliff in a snowstorm.
Yep. She's screaming, Jacob. And Jacob, the most valid crash out I have ever seen, goes, I am done with you. I'm finished. Like, he won.
He laid everything out on the line.
Yep. He's like, I can't do anything else. Like, nothing. You have fucking won. And Bella's like, stay. And he's like, fucking why, bitch? Are you serious? After all of this, you want me to stay? And she's like, well, I don't want to lose you too. You're too important to me. And he's like, oh.
She wants to have her cake and eat it too.
Unbelievable emotional manipulation here. She is just all over it. And then as he's turning to leave, she's frantic. She's absolutely frantic. Her voice is cracking. She goes, kiss me, Jacob. I'm asking you to kiss me. And Jacob, our king here, does not hesitate, does what the lady asks, and kisses her. And then at the end, he's like, that should have been our first kiss. And then he fucking leaves. And then Bella goes immediately back to her boyfriend and is like, oh my God, Edward, I don't know what happened. It was crazy. What just happened?
Ma'am. We were just like, what is happening? Watching it. Because also, I love that Jacob still stood on business. He got his kiss. That should have been our first kiss. And he still dipped the fuck out. And she cannot wrap her head around him falling to his knees for her.
Yep. We love it. So she's looking at Edward, Bella, and he's like, you love him. She's like, yeah, but I love you more. He's like, I know. Okay.
Well, are we not going to acknowledge that conversation? I should not be in love with somebody else if I have a fiance.
What?
Unless we have an agreed upon ethically non-monogamous relationship.
Unless we have a bigger conversation about triangles.
The strongest shape.
Let's have a bigger conversation as adults about triangles. Like, it's not that difficult. But this battle starts, and that's difficult. The Cullen battle stands in the wood. Ridiculous, amazing, hilarious. Victoria, she's there. She's running around. That little girl that they turned is there. She's cowering. Riley and Edward are fighting, and Bella's there too, and Victoria is watching. Okay, cool. And then Edward tries the tactic of, she's manipulating you, and Riley's like, she loves me. Everyone's like, okay.
I'm so over Edward. He should have kept showing his sparkly skin.
He's a her. Yeah. Jacob comes there, intercepts Riley, bites off his hand. Victoria goes running. Edward tempts her with James's death, and she flies into a rage. Riley knocks out Jacob. Edward's losing the fight. And Bella does, again, Bella steals the culture of Jacob and does exactly as the indigenous woman did to distract the vampires. Like, she took all the right lessons and is just fucking making the wrong choices all again, and cuts her arm with a rock, distracts everybody, and Edward is able to kill Victoria by biting her and they end up burning the body. And that is the end of the battle. It is like this huge buildup. Okay, we watched the Amazon Twilight Eclipse extended version of this, and it is over 2 hours. Not by a lot, but it is over 2 hours. And this is the build-up battle that we have been waiting for the whole time? Okay, fine. I will like to say that there are a lot of shattering vampires that sound like this. That's very fun. You know.
Also, none of the wolves died. They got hurt, but they didn't die.
Yep. Alice has a vision. The Volturi are coming. Talk about hurt wolves. There's one vampire left. Leah's about to get him, but Jacob comes in, and that vampire hurts Jacob badly. He crushes all of the bones on the right side of his body, and the wolves take Jacob and they lead him away. Okay, keep that in the back of our mind. Bella is not cool about this. She's very upset. But the Volturi are there. My girl Jane. I love her. I love her. She is all business, no bullshit. She's like, oh, you're still human. What the fuck's that about? The data set. All right, cool. All right, cool. I see you didn't kill all the vampires. She's going to die. We're going to do that. Hey, you go do that. Go do that, please. Also, it's very impressive, Cullens, that you were able to defeat this army. A normal coven wouldn't be able to do that. And Carlisle and all of them is like, yeah. And like, if the Volturi like knew about all this, you totally would have stepped in, right? And they're like, yeah, totally right. Yeah. Fuck you. Actually, we wanted you to die. We wanted you to die. We like it. And then they leave. They're like, okay, fine. Bye. And we get a cut of Bella running to Jacob. And Jacob is screaming. He's, Carlisle is re-breaking all of the bones in his body. And he comes out and says that Jacob will be fine. And he'll come back later and he'll set up a morphine drip. Right? And then we get the final confrontation between Jacob and Bella. And this is where Jacob utters the line, I would like to get all of the re-breaking done at once. Actually, I mean, I got nothing to say to that. Absolutely. Bella, he's done with your bullshit. Absolutely done.
Like, how much more? This goes back to her being selfish.
Yes.
She wants everything. She wants it her way. And she doesn't like, I don't want to say it, but she doesn't want the accountability that other people are hurting because of her. Based on her actions. Because the stuff that's uttered in this conversation is wild. It's, Edward's not mad at us. He's not mad at me. He's not mad at you. He's kind of just like blah at the whole thing. He's not playing a game. He's not perfect. Like, I know he's not perfect, but I know him. And he's like, you know that I love you. And she's like, you know that I know that we all know that that is not enough. It's not enough. And he's just like, I'm right for you. Like, here, I like how he has like a last pitch. It's like his last desperate pitch. He's like, I am right for you. If we were together, it would be as easy as breathing. And you know what, Bella? You're going to walk out of here and I'm fine with it because I tried my best. But I don't want to fucking see you again. So get the fuck out and don't come back. He's so valid in every, all emotions and all feelings are valid. Yes. But I just don't see, aside from the one thing of the non-consensual kiss, I don't see anything that is wrong. Like, Jacob has every right to be upset. And then I have to ask myself, why was everybody team Edward? And again, it's the protectiveness. I say in air quotes, oh, he's so protective. Oh, look how jealous he is. Because in theory, sometimes you're like, that's what love is, especially when your hormones and your emotions are at an all-time high. You're in high school. You want somebody to be that obsessed with you at that time. But as you get older, as we age, you realize, okay, things aren't healthy. There are certain things that aren't healthy. And Jacob was like, he was the good choice. He was the realistic choice, and he wasn't the toxic choice. And that's not always appealing.
Yep. Well, apparently not at all, because we're back in the meadow and we have settled on, here's me closing my circles, August 13th, 1 month before my birthday. So there we go.
That's right. Now I'm remembering timelines because we're like, this is not very Virgo of you.
Yep.
I remember that conversation a couple years ago.
So then we have the talk of like, all right, well, Alice can get that wedding like all set before that day. Like, we're all good. And Bella's like, I don't care about the wedding. And then Edward's like, okay, all right. Cards on the table, Bella. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? And then Bella goes off on this little monologue, which sounds very cool girl, but like, you just know her choice is wrong. So it's just like, you're justified. You're, mental gymnastics. She says all the things. She says that, this has always been a choice about who I should be and like who I am. And I've always been like weird and not normal and not understood. And, death makes me feel strong and I feel real. And that's when I'm with you. And like, that's my choice. It's not about you, Edward. It's about me and how the feelings that I get when I think about all of this stuff. And it's like,
would you have made this, not you, but like talking to Bella, if she never met Edward, would she have made this choice if Edward was not there? No, exactly. But then even if you say like, then it's not your choice. I say this with if I knew vampires were out there and I had a choice, am I going to be with the were or do I eventually want to become turned? Right. And I use this in the context of True Blood. If the option is there, did I always want to become a vampire with or without this person I love? Honestly, probably. Yes. We've had this conversation. All hail Caroline Forbes. But that's when it becomes your choice. And it's a choice that's not connected to romantic love.
Yes. And as much as she says that the choice is about her, it's very much about romantic love.
Yeah. Her choice is, what is my choice that allows me to be with this person that I love?
The longest. Yeah. Yeah. Because she could just be with him as a person, but he won't fuck her that way. And like, that is such a huge part of all of this.
It's the teenage hormones. If he would just fuck her, that's what he also doesn't get. That he's like, I don't want to change you. I don't want to change you. Then fuck me.
Then fuck her. And then it'd be done. And then this is the end of the movie. Bella says, we have to do something very scary. We have to tell Charlie. I would also be scared to tell Charlie. He's not going to take this well. And then, he puts that.
We're not telling anybody. We're just eloping.
Yep. And then he puts that big sparkly egg back on her finger. And then we are done. That is the end of that movie. Finished.
Thank God.
Whew. I have no fun facts, Jessica Marie. As I told you earlier, I have a little bone to pick. Here's my soapbox. The Amazon trivia fun facts situation was bad. It was bad. It was very, very, very bad. There was a lot of shit in there just that had nothing to do with Twilight whatsoever. And it was just like, really? I don't really care that she was a model for Chanel? What does that have to do with... I know that there are Twilight facts about this movie that you could stick in here that don't have to do with the outside world. Like, come on. Like, how many takes did it? Like, the blooper, like,
there have to be bloopers, because how can we not forget the infamous green screen moment of when we have the battle. And we're baby vamp training and the wolves come. Sorry.
No, you're good. I'm patting Jacob's head. I'm patting Jacob's head.
And we're patting Jacob's head. And then you have the green screen of, actors, right? Like, this is their job. And Taylor Lautner is in his green screen suit as his wolf form with all the little tennis ball-y things and his macabre suit. And he's just doing his thing. And actors. Because the bloopers is to bring it back to what Laura said, those blooper reels, how are you not looking at somebody and just dying? Because if it was either one of us, imagine if, that is such a good group costume. Somebody dressed up as Bella, somebody dressed up as a wolf, and then somebody dressed up in the green suit with tennis balls on it. Somebody please do that. That would be so funny.
That would be amazing. Amazing.
Oh my God, if I come out for Halloween, you and Sam. We're like, Sam.
Oh my God. Imagine. But honestly though, and that's a part of it too, is like, actors, because I could never. I don't have it in me to take that seriously enough to sell it, right? Because like it's not just like you're smirking your way through it. They're like having a conversation. It's like a heavy moment.
It's a heavy moment. That's the thing. It's not a laughing moment. There is a lot of seriousness happening and being conveyed in eyes and motions and movements and safety and like it'll be okay. Green screen and actors, they are getting paid to act.
Actors. So all of this to say that I don't have any fun facts for you because the ones that I were looking at initially were terrible and it pissed me off. Because why don't you have the most stellar fun facts? This movie has been seen by billions of people.
And like you said earlier, transcends. People are still talking about it. They have classes about it because of how you can dissect the layers of this.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It just pissed me off. So I don't have any fun facts. My fun fact is that this is Charlie's nightmare. And Charlie is the best parent out of all of them. He's the only one that uses his brain. And I would be trying to fuck Bella's dad. And that's just all I got to say about that.
And not enough people are trying to in Forks, Washington. And that honestly, is a damn shame.
He goes fishing and he is single all the time. What the fuck is going on? That man is gorgeous.
Yep.
Competent. A homeowner.
And he's friends with Carlisle. So and he can be at the hospital. You know how many, there should be nurses. There is a compatibility there of wanting to help the community.
I'll help the community. I'll fuck the police chief. It's fine. It's Charlie. It's Charlie. We love Charlie.
All hail King Charlie.
All hail King Charlie. I think that's the theme of this episode. Again, this is super fun. I really like experiencing this. Yeah, I love that we do this. I like experiencing this with you, Jessica Marie. And I like that we get to visit these as adults while also understanding like time, place, context is so important. And also kind of like remembering where we were during all of this and being like, well, Jesus, why did we choose Edward? That doesn't make any fucking sense. Especially as adults, because there's other like vampire werewolf stuff out there. So to see this and you're just like, okay, all right. Cool. It's all a metaphor and it is steeped in Mormonism. All right, let's go. You know, it's fun. And I really enjoy that we do this annually, Jessica Marie.
I do too. I was thinking like it was just a priority for us. We're like, wait, this is going to be perfect. We can have it. We get to do it 2 more times because we have Breaking Dawn Part 1, Breaking 2, and we like to spread it out. Like it keeps everything so exciting. And I mean, if you've been with the podcast for a while, you know, it's just exciting. We've been friends for forever and we're constantly learning new things about each other. And this is another thing we get to experience together that we keep learning and growing and having these conversations with in such a fun way, but in our own Mystery Science Theater. But with that being said, thank you so much for listening. Feel free to follow us on Instagram. We're at ACOFAE Podcast. We're also both on TikTok, ACOFAE Laura and ACOFAE Jessica. We're also on YouTube. Feel free to rate us 4 stars. How about 5 stars? On any of your listening platforms, we would be really appreciative to that. Thanks so much, and we'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.
Bye.